Hello, everyone. Welcome to Shannon Gardens. Thank you guys so much for joining me. So, today I wanted to talk about one of my favorite herbs that I use continuously and probably the most often from my garden, and that is rosemary. Now, rosemary is a fragrant evergreen shrub, and it can be grown either as an annual or as a perennial, depending on your zone, and it is also deer resistant. There are several different varieties of rosemary, and I recently went on a nursery visit and wanted to show you guys some of the different varieties that I ran across and some of the differences between those varieties. So why don't we take a look at that, and then we'll come back here and we can talk more about planting rosemary and a few different tips to bear in mind when you are adding rosemary to your garden. So first I came across the Huntington carpet variety, which is said to grow 1 to 2 feet tall and 8 feet wide, with deep blue flowers backed by green foliage that forms an attractive ground cover. Next up is the barbecue rosemary, and it's said to have remarkable flavor and aroma for cooking. It makes perfect skewers and is 4 to 6 feet tall and 2 to 3 feet wide. And then there's this Tuscan blue rosemary patio tree that looked like a little miniature topiary. And then there's the standard Tuscan blue rosemary in a smaller pot, as well as the Tuscan blue rosemary in larger pots. Now, these bloom spring to summer. They have evergreen foliage and profuse blue flowers. They grow 6 feet tall and 2 to 4 feet wide. And then I came across the Chef's Choice culinary rosemary, and it's said to be selected for its higher oil content and spicy flavor. It has a compact mounding habit and is 18 to 24 inches high and wide. Okay, you guys, so here's the rosemary that I chose to add to my garden, which is the Tuscan blue rosemary. I really like it because it is a large evergreen. It grows 5 to 6 feet tall and 2 to 4 feet wide. And of course, it's going to have those beautiful blue blooms probably in the next month or so. So as I mentioned, rosemary can be grown as an annual or perennial depending on your zone. They're generally marked as perennials in zones 8 through 10, although I am in zone 7B and I have grown rosemary as a perennial for years. Rosemary can be marked as a cold hardiness to zone 7, so that's something to bear in mind if you are trying to decide whether you can grow that as an annual or perennial. Now, in addition to being an evergreen shrub, rosemary also will bloom, generally light blue to white, anywhere from early spring to the summer, and then they can even bloom sporadically through the summer as well. So when you're planting rosemary, there are a few things that you'll want to bear in mind. First of all, you'll want to plant in spring after the threat of frost has passed. And then you'll also want to choose a location that has full sun and very well draining soil. So this is a plant that does not want to sit in water. Actually, it prefers underwatering compared to overwatering. So you really just want to make sure that that has nice, well draining soil. It also prefers good air circulation. So bear that in mind as well, particularly if you're in a humid climate like I am, that you really don't want to crowd that plant around with other plants. You want to allow it to have space and to have nice air circulation to help prevent fungus and rot. Now, if you are looking to plant your rosemary in a pot, particularly if you are in an area where it does not thrive over the winter and you're looking to bring that in, then you'll want to look at an unglazed clay pot to plant in so that the excess moisture can also evaporate from the sides of the pot, and then also make sure that you have draining holes in the bottom as well so that the water can drain out and it will not sit in the water. So rosemary can be harvested at any time of the year. They are their most flavorful and aromatic right before they bloom. And when you harvest, you'll just want to cut off the top 4 to 6 inches of the stem tips. Now you can also prune your rosemary. That is not something that I do. I just let mine be and let it grow in its natural form, but you can prune them, and they can also be trained into topiary shapes. Although I've never chosen to do that myself, I am not gifted with topiary, and so I can't imagine how that would look, but that is something that you can do if you are so inclined. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I love talking about the different herbs and everything, especially as we're starting to get into the growing and the planting season. So thank you so much again. Please stay tuned because I'll be planting a lot of herbs and my vegetables very soon, as well as flowers and shrubs and everything else. So until next time, happy gardening and goodbye.